You're here at the dock, which is my epicenter for showing my products. It's my office, and it's also a place where I can show other people's work. We're very fortunate in having this landscape which has got outdoors, indoors, restaurants and extra space, if you like. And so I think it's much more interesting to bring in fresh ideas as often as possible, surround yourself with your friends, which is always quite nice, and just get a diversity of products here which is beyond what we should do ourselves as a singular brand that has a very clear identity and focus. So in a way it sort of replicates a bit the environments where we're sold around the world, but it's also a great way of not remaining too static. We've been working almost 10 years now to do really the hard stuff, which is lighting and furniture, and these are very involved and quite complex products to develop yourselves, because we actually produce our own designs, unlike a lot of other design studios. And so now we're able to play a bit more and have things which are slightly less, possibly slightly less designed, which incorporate all kinds of other functionalities. For the time being, we're concentrating a bit on, on preparing food and serving food. So tableware, there is a candle, and there's some kind of just some decorative artifacts. So we've created a world, which furnishing world, and now we're adding another layer on top. This season, I've been working a lot in lighting, and obviously what's kind of interesting about the lighting business for a designer is that the technology is evolving very rapidly. So I think also we're concentrating a bit more this season on thinking about what lights, less about the shape of a fixture or the materiality of it, but what light it emits. The Etch lamp came partly from an encounter with a coffee filter manufacturer. So it's made with a photochemical etching technique, which is used also for circuit boards. But this is a factory that specialises in coffee filters. So it's certainly thinking about the filtration of light. Often it's used in stage craft. So in theatres they use what they call gobos to filter the light. So the idea of creating a lampshade which was really about shadow play or making intricate shadows and filtering the light a bit to get that feeling of a walk through the forest or a dappled water reflected off water or something like that. So breaking up the light and making it less harsh. In the next few years, you'll see us evolving two strategies, coping strategies. One which is to go even more handmade and textural and embrace the accident and the uniqueness of handmade products. On the other hand, like in the Finlight, we'll be going more technical, more investment in tooling, in technology and the rest of it. And so I'm interested in both extremes, the very personal and the very highly engineered. So the luster lamp, to get back to that, is using also some rare metal oxides, and it's virtually impossible, in fact it is impossible to have them consistent. So each one has got its own personal character, and that's actually very difficult to replicate for an Asian factory. We're a nation of traders, so there are influences from all over the world. I mean, we get things made in many countries, including the UK. So there's quite a lot of elements of spice from other lands, But essentially, the characteristics of a British design should be slightly unfashionable, maybe. So I try and strip out some of the fashionability elements out of it to make things a bit longer lasting. There's a materiality about them which I think is slightly British. So it's probably a bit clumsier than, say, Italian or French design. It's not nearly as conceptual as Dutch design. So often it's quite easy to measure yourself more against what you're not than what you are. But I think we're trying to make an unfashionable solidity about things, so that they'll last and with any luck that they're handed down, So that's actually a harder job than it sounds.